Why is Bitcoin sort of not wildly off to the races yet?
The crypto market is getting ridiculous. You see, while the Bitcoin price dipped today,
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
bringing the entire crypto market along with it, this dip is nothing new.
Toxic.
Nothing new on Teresa's end?
No.
Bitcoin continues to trade in its range, and much like we've seen over and over again, the bottom ranges of the support are great buying opportunities. 5 steps forward, 2 to 3 steps back. And I have breaking news involving altcoins that could affect you. Watch today's whole video. But here's possibly the real reason Bitcoin is crashing. Global macro investor Raoul explains why the 4-year cycle is now the 5-year cycle, and Bitcoin should now peak in 2026, probably Q2. So he's referring to Bitcoin's 4-year cycle, driven by the halving every 4th year of the 4-year cycle. We've seen this over and over and over again. Let me share this with you, and then I need to give you my take.
Why is Bitcoin sort of not wildly off to the races yet? And it's this chart. Bitcoin is basically, this is a detrended Bitcoin, and it's basically the ISM, which is the business cycle. Remember, we've always said it's the business cycle stupid. It is always the business cycle stupid. And all of these people who claim it's the 4-year cycle based around this and that, they don't understand the fundamental of what the business cycle is, why there's a 4-year cycle in everything. And we've explained it, and we'll go through it in great detail tomorrow in our Everything Code presentation. But basically, it's following the ISM.
By the way, the ISM is the business cycle. The ISM business cycle refers to the Institute for Supply Management's purchasing managers. Index ISM PMI reports, which are considered key leading indicators of U.S. economic activity and serve as a proxy for the business cycle. Above 50 indicates an economic expansion, while below 50 signals contraction. And this is not just crypto. This has been going on for decades, whether we're in expansion or contraction. The last time we saw an expansion was at the peak of 2021. And I believe this has been the longest period ever that we still have yet to see the ISM. Here's 50 above 50. So, we've been in the longest period of contraction below 50 without breaking out in decades. Why can't we break up?
Oh, yes! You can't break up the prawn before the traditional prom king-led conga line!
And rates have been following the same pattern. You see, rates should have come lower. They need to come lower because we need to roll the debt. We've talked about this. That's part of the Everything Code, fundamental part. And ISM, because rates are so high, has meant that Main Street has been screwed while Wall Street's made money from debasement. Earnings versus scarce assets. This is the issue that they need to solve, and they need to get rates lower. They get rates lower. Why? Why do we have an elongated business cycle that looks like virtually no other real other time? It's because, and I only just found this out redoing the work on the Everything Code recently, is that in 2021-22, they actually extended the maturity of the debt from 4 years to 5 years. So that extension of the maturity of debt has pushed out the business cycle a year. The 4-year cycle this time around is a 5-year cycle. We don't know what the next one will be until we see where they all end up getting refinanced, whether it comes back to 4 because they managed to get some stuff at the long end, or whether they shorten it because everything's in the short end. We don't know yet, but this one is a 5-year cycle. And this is what it looks like. A 5.4-year sine curve. 5.4 years is the exact average weighted maturity of the debt. And it tells us the ISM should peak by 2026. We think liquidity probably peaks before that, as the rate of change of ISM changes and the rate of change of liquidity changes. Our best guess remains well into 2026, probably Q2.
So that's very interesting because it's not like the ISM is popping off. It's not like we're above 50, well above 50, and Bitcoin's lacking. No, the ISM, the business cycle energy in the economy, expansion, contraction. The global economy is not in expansion yet. We continue to be below 50 and Bitcoin is following.
Should I follow you?
Now, I believe that means any dips are meant to be bought. If you would have bought Bitcoin or any crypto while the ISM was below 50, like we saw in 2015, 16, we know what happened later. Like we saw in 2019, 2020, we know what happened later. This is that period today.
We know what happened with Trish. And it's not your fault.
And progress is being made behind the scenes. Justin Allen podcast host, which is a huge podcast Jason has launched, Still Core Capital, a new Bittensor fund. Bittensor is an AI blue chip altcoin. The investing focus will be TOE as well as Bittensor subnet alpha tokens. Honestly, the clues have been there this whole time. Listen to this clip.
Most of us can kind of pile on. But the other version is much more distributed, and I'll say a dirty word here, but I think it matters. Like, it's like this Web3 model does actually apply here, where there are some really interesting early adventures in crowdsourcing technical completion. I would encourage you to look at a project that I'm starting to focus a little bit on called Bittensor. And I was like, what is this thing? And it's basically a thing where you go and solve technical problems and produce features that people require, that need, and you get paid in this underlying currency.
And again, I'm just trying to highlight projects that are actually building through this dip. This is why you subscribe to Crypto Analysis Pro for an edge investing in crypto. Sui is best equipped to dominate agentic commerce, meaning AI agents in the future of AI.
It was not lost to us at Facebook that the world where majority of online transactions are going to be facilitated by agents on behalf of users was going to be a thing. And in that world, we feel Sui is already well placed. And we recently announced our partnership with Google on AP2, which is an agentic payments framework. We work with a lot of large organizations on that. And Sui uniquely allows you to effectively do a batch of transfers atomically instantly, something no other chain can do. So we're already well placed. We're building a lot of protocols as well around making it easy to buy and sell content in a world where content's been scraped left, right, and center. Without content creators, there'll be no internet. So we're building for that future. The emphasis and the importance of a content world where creators are front and center absolutely still needs to be maintained. And in a world where agentic is going to be the method by which we all interact, you still need to uphold those strong tenets of the internet.
Alex of SwissBorg, highlighting why BORG goes over $3 in this upcoming alt season. Basically, they're using all the trading fees, I believe, to buy back the token. Not all of them, but a significant amount to buy back the token. Every single swap fuels BORG buybacks, but 10%, 20% of fees and buybacks are not enough. If you trade on SwissBorg, they're buying back 50%, or excuse me, using 50% of the fees to buy back the token. As of last week, 50% of the fees would equal $400,000 of BORG. Weekly buy pressure, $1.6 million of monthly buy pressure, and $20 million a year of buy pressure using the stats from last week. Of course, we're not in a bull market yet. This is still middling market. $400,000 of buybacks with the current liquidity/P price impact would pump BORG 50% in a single week. They have just started the intensity of this BORG buyback program. So, we'll have to see how this plays out in the next 12 months. Thank you for watching this video so far. Please take the time to watch my previous videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please write in the comments whether you think the bull run has been canceled or not. Until next time, goodbye.